Fins up. OnlyFans, but with a PH. You heard? Yo. White orange and teal, the fins look real, you know it's a deal. There's blood, sweat, and tears, all up in his huddle with water to cook up a meal. My coaching in two where the combo was chill. Play action to chase, got hunger to feel. The cheetah is loose, he's going for blood. The end of the race only went for the kill. Miami, the city, the county, the block. We steady and packed, tail dead in the lot. Defense is strong and hard as a rock. Holland's a lock, and next one's a spot. Getting too hot, so turn up the fan. You look to the crowd, see Jimmy and Bam. Martin, Joe, and Sosa the mans. Yo, fellas, roll the clip, OnlyFans.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy So, and welcome back to the channel for another week of OnlyFans, a Dolphins post-game show with reaction, analysis, and a whole lot of heart. Now, before we get this party started, we ask that you hit the like button on this video and make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so you get alerted when we drop our next video. Now, with me today to recap this 45-7 ass-kicking is Joel, the delusional Dolphin. What's up, my brother? 45-15, excuse me. 45. I got so excited about the score, I lost track a little bit there.
I was about to say, I was like 45-7. I knew it was an ass whooping, but goddamn, I mean, still 45-15.
Should have been 7.
You know what I'm saying? They still covered the spread today. You know, got the dub on the road, which is big. You know, and your boy's feeling real good about it right now.
I bet, dog. I bet, man. And we got to jump straight into it, man. Like I said earlier, it was a 45-15 win up in Washington, and for all intents and purposes, we really needed this game, right? Because we have been 3-3 on the road up until this point. We needed to show that we can put together road wins back to back and find ways to win however we can. And while Washington Commanders may not be the hottest team in the NFL or in the NFC, it's still our opponent. It's still a road game, and we had to go out there and take care of business. Bro, you know what's really strange? Something that we haven't pointed out yet, bro. Like the Dolphins are like, I want to say 10-1, 10 and something when it comes to coin flips. These guys have won damn near every single coin flip this season, dog. That has to be an amazing prop bet.
Yeah, yet again today. They won it again today, and they deferred once again to the second half, which in a game like today was phenomenal because you have the first half that you do, and then you go into the locker room at halftime knowing, oh, wait, we get the ball back, and we get to do it all over again. So it keeps working, man. I like it. I wonder what the stat is on whether or not we win the game based on whether or not we win the coin flip.
I don't know, correlation. Man, but I would it would be a safe bet to say that they win more often than not, man, because like you said, it just allows the defense to come out here and set the tone right in the game, and that's exactly what they did. The Commanders' drive halted at midfield. McDaniel lost the challenge, but it didn't come back to affect the team. It didn't look like it was a catch. They gave him the catch. Whatever, you know what I mean?
There just wasn't. It was one of those where the camera angle wasn't good enough to give us the benefit of the doubt, you know. But that shit did not look like a catch, bro. I thought he was hugging that sideline.
It didn't look like a catch at all, and I get why McDaniels went for the challenge. And while he was unsuccessful, I like it, right? Like you're not giving Washington anything easy or anything like some type of momentum building play, and the defense really stepped up and was able to force that 3-and-out afterwards. And then it was quick work from Tyreek and Tua right after that. Mostert, after his run on second down, pretty much baited everybody in Washington into a short yardage package where it was 3rd and 2. We looked like we were going to run it down their throat, and we were in our big package. And then we spread everybody out, and I'm thinking, what the hell are we doing? Why aren't we being a physical team here? And then, of course, Mike McDaniel calls this play right here where Tua connects with Tyreek Hill over the defense, hooks up for a 70-yard bomb, dog. 78-yard touchdown catch. It was an incredibly well-played call, and the timing was perfect on it, honestly, man. It couldn't have gone better for the offense.
Yeah, you got Tyreek. I believe he was sitting in the slot in that play, which whenever you see him there, you know it's going to be fireworks, dog. And he just got the jump. Like he had, one-on-one coverage, got the jump. Tua put the pass, where he needed to be. It could have been a little bit better pass, you can argue, but it doesn't matter. He made the pass. Tyreek turned on the Jets, and with that one catch to start the game, he not only got us the lead, but he also surpassed 1,400 yards receiving on the season.
Yes, man, and he broke a Dolphins record while he did it. And even better than that was the celebration. Because everybody wanted to go on the roller coaster ride, and that's exactly what Washington
Make sure to strap in, boys. Make sure to strap in.
Because it's a ride. It's a real ride. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
I love it, man.
And that's the fun that the guys are playing with, man. And you can tell that when the guys are this excited about how they're approaching the football game week in, week out, it just bodes well for us, man.
Yeah.
And to get off to an early start, 7-zip on that, with a big play, really set the tone for the rest of the game and even for the first quarter, because usually the Dolphins come out kind of slow. We're usually outscored in the first quarter, and we came out here pretty strong today. Put up 17 points, didn't allow any points by Washington in the first quarter. And we were all over Sam Howell today. He is a good young quarterback. He made some good throws and he can move, but he just doesn't have enough weapons, doesn't have a good enough O-line. Andrew Van Ginkel was really balling out today, and one of the plays that he had was that sack where he spun around on the offensive lineman and timed it perfectly to meet Sam Howell and really drag him down. What do you think about Van Ginkel's performance today? Because right after that, man, you could just see him building into this game and really taking on that position with Jalen Phillips out.
I mean, you got to love what you saw out of AVG today, man. Going into this game, the storylines were, the Dolphins and their offense that have recently regressed, can they find some sort of rhythm and tempo to complement the defense that has been playing at a elite, level. The other storyline around that was having lost Jalen Phillips in New York last week on Black Friday, who was going to step up, and we talked about this a little bit on the show last week, either on OnlyFans or on the Sports and Social podcast, where,
it was on the podcast.
I said, Andrew Van Ginkel, you know what I mean? This is the time for him to step up. We've had Phillips, he's taking a little bit of a back seat, hasn't been, given the same amount of opportunities that he's had in the past, but we know what kind of player he is. You know what I mean? That's as John Gruden would say, that guy's a grinder, man. I'll tell you what, that guy's a grinder because he's going to go 110% every time, man. Yeah. And you saw it, on that initial sack play, where he was able to get to Howell, beautiful spin move on him, just, read him like a book. And their offensive line is probably their most suspect, part of their offense right now, because they do have some ball catchers in Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, even out of the backfield, Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson, even their tight end, Logan Thomas, he can catch, but their O-line is garbage. So we knew our defense was going to have to put the pressure on them. And we knew that, we needed Andrew Van Ginkel to step up. And sure enough, he did, dog. I mean, that sack was poetry.
And it just shows how much this defense is kind of like a revolving door when it comes to talent and availability, right? Like if you're not available, you still have the talent. The next guy behind you is just as talented and can come in and make plays, can come in and not let the standard drop, right? Where you're going from a Phillips all the way down to a Van Ginkel. Now we're talking about like right here, because all due respect to Phillips, he was having an all-pro year. I mean, he was just going to be a different monster this year. Not to say that Van Ginkel can't be, but he still has to put that type of performances together week in, week out, like Phillips was doing. And he's off to a great start, man. Look, he had, we scored a field goal after that, but he had the play of the game, in my opinion, with this INT pick six, to kind of put that emphasis on the end of the first quarter there. And again, it's just, what's impressive is how we got the pick, right? Because he's such a smart guy when it comes to how he plays his position. He's not the biggest, he's not the most physical, he's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, but he's so smart and he's so aware of what's going on around him that it allows him to put himself in a real good position and make plays. And that's what that was. He read the screen perfectly, kind of dropped into the passing lane where the running back was going to be, read the quarterback size perfectly, and made the play and took it to the house. Valid
candidate for the play of the game. I mean, it was beautiful. Can you play it one more time for us? Play that. Or I don't know if you have it available anymore, but
I do.
I mean, just the jump that he gets, man. Like you talk about like the IQ, the football IQ, and I mean,
my bad.
You don't have the beginning of it though when he actually catches it. Well, we got him running off at the end. There we go.
Boom, right there.
It was just something, man. When you're watching it, you're like, holy shit, I can't believe this guy just made that play, and. I completely understand why you would say it's a play of the game, but you mentioned something earlier, man, about this defense being a unit and anybody at any given moment having the ability to step up when they need to. And we saw that, obviously Van Ginkel had time to prepare, but we saw it later on in the game when unfortunately we lost one of our linebackers and another linebacker had to step up for him, and he did. over and over again today, short notice, So that's a testament to your statement right there.
And look, even Emmanuel Agba had a sack today in the first half. He threw up the 1-5 to show love to Jalen Phillips. It was just a good collective effort from this defensive line, which is what we wanted to see, right? We wanted to see all these guys, Chubb, Agba, Sealer, Wilkins, who's the two guys we just mentioned, David Long, who had an amazing game today, right? Like, we wanted to see this unit really get together and put the pressure on a weaker, inferior opponent in Washington's offense. Yeah, they have some pieces, but they're not putting it together. We needed to go out there and break those guys apart, and that's exactly what this defense did today. Andrew Van Ginkel, man, he's really turning into one of those players that turns into your favorite player just because of how hard he plays the game, man. And look, on that play that the Commander scored on that we lost Baker, they took advantage of Brandon Jones being back there because Javon Holland was unable to play today. I think we're just doing the right thing of resting him for the games that matter, a little bit more important down the road, and not having to take the shot, right, with him playing a game that's unnecessary. And Brandon Jones, for that minus that one mistake, he had a really good game. He played well in his absence, right, and stepped up. But the Commanders were able to score, make the game a little bit tighter, 17-7, and then right after that, the combination, Joel, we've seen it over and over this year, over and over, and we always continue to ask ourselves, like, how do these guys find a way to connect? But Tua and Tyreek Hill connect on a 60-yard bomb, and more impressive, you pointed it out to us on the chat, was how he adjusted to turn around and catch that ball mid-air, dog, and collect the 6.
I mean, that play right there is the literal epitome of, fuck it, just throw it up there. Tyreek's got to be out there somewhere. I mean, it was, if you look at the play developing before too, like from the coverage on the broadcast, you see Tyreek in a 3-point stance. He shifts, he motions over, he gets in a 3-point stance, like down on his knee, for a little, and he's a little guy. So to see him in that position, like below everybody, and he's looking back at Tua, and you can tell in that moment, he's communicating, saying, yo,
this is the coverage.
Throw that bitch up there. And he motions him. And when you get Tyreek in that motion, bro, he gets a little bit of that head start, bro. Ain't nobody touching that kid. And that's exactly what happened here. Tua threw it over to the right side when he was expecting on the left, but he had the ability to just kind of turn around, make that adjustment, and just piece out into the end zone. I mean, that's why I said the Van Ginkel play could be a candidate, because this would be my other candidate for play of the game.
For sure, and it deserves the respect, right? Because Tyreek Hill's speed is unmatched in the NFL, and it's honestly never been seen before. Wes Welker said it earlier this week in the press conference. This is a dude who played with Randy Moss, one of the best wide receivers ever, and said that Tyreek Hill can outrun more routes than Randy Moss ever had in his arsenal.
Yeah, he said he had the whole route tree, which
everything.
I'm sure Randy Moss is going to have some exception to that, but Randy Moss, what he was known for, I mean, we didn't coin the phrase, you got mossed because somebody ran a slant route or a comeback route on you or something like that, and then took it to the house. It was mainly he was taking the top off and going vertical on you, which is the greatness of Randy Moss. But there's a difference in this guy. And this guy, Tyreek Hill, man, I mean, it's just unreal what this guy's able to do.
It's just pure speed, dog. You mentioned.
You got his finishing stat lines there for me?
I do. Give me 1 second. But to finish my thought before I lose it, just the fact that he's one of the fastest guys in the NFL, right, and can turn it up at any single time. And like you mentioned it, once he gets going, once he's in motion, olvídate, you're not going to stop this guy. You're not going to catch up to him. You're going to hope that you trip him up or something.
Yep.
He ended up today with 5 catches for 157 yards and 2 touchdowns. And he only saw 7 targets. So, I don't know what else you want this guy to do, right, to put himself firmly in that MVP candidate race. But he deserves to be up there, man. And if today wasn't another notch on his belt as to why he deserves to be in that, I don't know what's it gonna take, man. But after that bomb, you kind of rely on the defense to come back and get another stop, and that happens when Sealer get the third stack of the half there, and he was just forcing Howell. The D-line was forcing Howell to stay with the ball and really move side to side in the pocket and not really get comfortable. And then again, just before the half, we get our boy Mostert to punch it in here for the 6 after we drove down the field, 6-minute drive, just grinding it out. and then allowing our big guy to go out there and eat. Mostert's one of those guys, man, that's just reliable. You know, he brings his hard hat to work every day and gets into his position and just goes to work, dog.
Yep.
You know, he's not really a big, gaudy guy when it comes to stats and all this stuff. He only had 43 yards today, but the way that he ran and ran hard for us at times is very important because it really does set the rhythm for everybody else, including Devon Achane, who was making his return today.
And that's what I was going to say. I mean, he had a relatively quiet day aside from that touchdown that he had right there because the return of the Achane, you know, he just came back and that kid balled out today. Multiple touchdowns. Granted, it came in the second half when we were already up, but man, it's nice to see that kid healthy again.
Absolutely, man. 17 carries for 73 yards, 2 touchdowns, and more importantly, the one to ice the game, right, and really put everything away. And what's cool about that touchdown, right, and before we kind of jump back into the second half and how that got started, you know, the way that kid was running today, Joel, shows that he is hungry for more reps. He is hungry for more touches. He is hungry for bigger and stronger runs. So he's going to be a very valuable weapon. And I'm glad that we took our time bringing him back because he's going to be valuable, extremely valuable heading into this playoff run, man.
Let me ask you a question in the same sense that we sat Javon Holland to kind of give him some rest, like you said, going into the later half of this year. With some of these important games, do you think that it's possible where, you know, there's a scenario where Mike McDaniels may want to sit Raheem Mostert for Monday's game against the Titans and let the rookie and Jeff Wilson and company kind of handle the workload, kind of just to give, you
Absolutely
know, our workhorse some rest?
No, absolutely not. You as running backs, you need the repetitions to stay in rhythm, right? The last thing you want to do is go from having 17 carries to 0 carries, because guess what? That could be the game that Devon Achane gets 23 carries and blows up for 260 yards, and then Mostert never sees the field again, right? Not in that sense, but where his role can become reduced. If you're Raheem Mostert, you want to stay in the driver's seat for as long as possible. Let it ride until you can no more, dog. And you know what? We have to give credit to Mostert for being available, for being such a hard worker, grinding out type running back that he has been this year. That was a big knock on him before he got to Miami. He's injury riddled, can't really survive a season, the workload. Here he is handling the workload, top 3 in NFL in rushing touchdowns, top 5 in rushing yards. Like, this dude has done everything, you know, for us. And I think that he deserves the respect of a true number 1 running back. Don't get me wrong. Achane is a star in the making, but right now the star that we have and the most reliable back that we have has been Mostert, and it is Mostert. So
fair enough.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him continue to get the bulk of the work. Armstead, though, he didn't come out for the second half, but we were able to get the touchdown from Achane, his first of the 2 here after a long drive again, where we're just pounding the rock, 6-minute drive. We're getting first downs, running the ball, and becoming more physical. And then you and I, we both saw it at the same time when Tua shook the linebacker to complete that hill to that throw down to Waddle, you know, where he kind of hit that shimmy on him and pushed up and just connected with Waddle. That was very impressive to see from Tua, man. That's what I want to see.
That play right there will go so under the radar. You know, like I've already nitpicked a little bit. You know, that first touchdown of Tyreek was a little underthrown. The second touchdown of Tyreek was on the wrong shoulder. You know what I mean? You can nitpick, but you know, you gotta give the man props where it's due. And you can tell that he made the adjustment. You can tell it's something he's been practicing on, and he anticipated it fully. I know we don't have a clip of it to show it, but
we don't.
It was a beautiful move by our not so mobile quarterback to just kind of avoid the sack, step into it, and then make that throw. You know, you love seeing that from Tua.
It kind of reminded me of Tom Brady, right? Where Tom Brady wasn't necessarily a guy who would move a lot in the pocket, but he would just do enough of getting straight, right? Where you miss him, and then he's like, all right, now I got an extra half a second, and my guy's running in motion. We're going to be able to connect on the field.
Yeah,
and you mentioned, pocket of winners. You know what I mean? You mentioned giving credit where credit is due. We got to give credit to Sam Howell, man. You know, he shook a couple of the sack attempts himself on the drive right after we scored, drove his team into the red zone, rushed in for another touchdown. Today, he had both touchdowns on the ground for the Commanders. And like I said, that kid showed a lot of grit, man. You know, they benched him towards the end of the game, but it wasn't because of his performance. It was more like hey, let's just keep you out of harm's way for next week, right? Yeah. Let's save you for next week. But Sam Howell, man, again, he's a guy who impressed me. Because he does have what it takes, I think, to be an NFL type quarterback. Would just be interested to see what they can do when they have an offensive line together, because Washington does have some offensive weapons that they can rely on just right now and at the time. And the defense was too good today, to be honest.
Yeah, and I wasn't even mad. I wasn't even mad when Sam Howell punched that in, because that touchdown right there secured the over for the game with like 20 minutes left. So that was an absolute lock this week.
Yeah, for sure, right? And then, not only that, we knew that we were going to try to make the most out of this, right, attempt, because we wanted to see guys get into rhythm. We saw us going more towards Waddle, right, where we're building him up again, and he got eight targets today, ended up with 5 catches, 52 yards, no touchdowns, but he could have ended up with a lot more. He had that one big drop.
One big drop, man. He was ready to run it upfield. Yeah, dog. Yeah, and we can't have that from Waddle. Like, we need, we know when the ball is going towards Tyreek Hill as fans, he's going to catch it. Even on the one, I don't know if you remember the one on the sidelines that he didn't get to come up with it. Well covered. Still almost came up with it, So, Tyreek Hill is our safety blanket. We know that. With Waddle, we know he can make catches. We know he can make plays. But, that drop he had today, he's had a couple of those this season. And it's like, we need you to make the most of those opportunities. If you're going to have 8 targets, I need you catching more than half of those.
It's too much. You know what I mean? We can't have it, because at the end of the day, it's going to happen at the wrong time, and we're all going to burn whoever it happens to, right? And Waddle has to be consistent with his opportunities, in the sense of he's not going to get as many opportunities as a guy like Tyreek Hill will in a game, right? Maybe he doesn't get as many balls thrown to him. So whenever you do get those balls thrown to you, my man, you got to make those catches. Gotta make those catches. And look, he made up for it. He made some big catches down the stretch, had a really good game, and created a lot of space for Tyreek Hill and the other guys to work with. But it really got into a defensive battle back and forth with the offense, and the defense really just couldn't get on the same page for the Dolphins. We had a couple of 3-and-outs after that, and we also forced Washington into a couple of 3-and-outs before Achane got back to himself. After we took 2 out with about 8 minutes left, Skylar Thompson was able to drive the team down to the end zone for 6 and let Devon Achane kiss the Commanders goodbye right there, dog. I had to show that highlight, because it was like, all right, see you later. And you know what? I had to give a shout out to all the Dolphins fans that made it out there to Washington.
Oh, yeah.
That shit was aqua and orange out down there, dude.
I heard a lot of Let's Go Dolphins chants through the TV, which is a beautiful thing to see, especially with our fan base that we have. Yeah, at least the ones that stay here and don't travel. The traveling fans, we know those are the diehards.
For sure, but what you want to see is the support for a winning team, right? You're a Dolphins fan in Washington. They're coming to your town. Hey, we're winning. You're going to go out there. We're going to Dallas. Go out there. We're going to Buffalo. Go out there. We're going to Baltimore. Go out there. We're going wherever you're going, because right now the product of Miami Dolphins football is the best that it's ever been in God knows how long, over 40 years, right? Yeah. So you got to make the most of it if you're a Dolphins fan. And look, they were saying it on the radio today before the game. The whole entire lower bowl of that stadium was pretty much 75% aqua and orange. Just lets you know how well we can travel when the Dolphins are on, and worth the effort. The final became 45-14 right after that. Jacoby Brissett came in the game, couldn't get a first down, and that was pretty much it. Dolphins, 9-3, first time since 2001. I don't know, Joel, you and I have been through a lot up and downs with this Dolphins team, right? Especially since we started the podcast. How are we feeling about the Dolphins, who are 9-3, still on top of the AFC, still in that battle where they're fighting for home field playoff position?
I feel like this is the best chance that we've had in a long time to accomplish our goal, or at least to see our goal be accomplished as fans, and that's to see the Dolphins win in the playoffs, man. This team is primed right now. This is the second straight season now under Coach Mike McDaniels where they have a winning record. They've guaranteed that here through, 13 weeks, 12, 13 weeks, whatever it is. So you got to feel really good about that, especially in a season last year where it was very streaky. Go win 3 games, go lose 3 games, win 5 games, lose 5 games. You know what I mean? We lost the last 3 games of our season. It was very streaky. We had really good glimpses and flashes, and we didn't, quite have it all together. And now it seems like we got it all together. We need to make sure we can prove it. The last part of the stretch here against, the teams that have the winning records, that's really what's going to help us get us some momentum going into the playoffs. But you got to feel good about this team, man. If you bleed aqua and orange, I mean, this is the time, to really feel good about it with this team. And one thing I want to mention too, a guy that we didn't really give his flowers to, and I kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier, Duke Riley on defense, man. I mean, we had Jerome Baker go out. It was a freak accident that took him out essentially. And yet again,
I got an update. It was a freak accident. He did get hurt in his knee, but Mike McDaniel in the post-game conference said that it's not season-long injury. So we may see him back in a couple of weeks. But like you said, if we have guys stepping up like Duke Riley, who's been here for a couple of years already, and can sub in for a week or two, shit, we'll take it to get Jerome Baker healthy for the playoffs.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
But yeah, bro, that's a great point, and that ties into like what we want to recap, right? Like we want to make sure that the Dolphins stay as healthy as possible. We saw that Hunt left the game as well, but
he looked really sad on the bench, man. I think it was a hamstring injury.
Yeah, it was, and he could have played if it was a playoff game, but they're like, dude, we're up. We don't need to push this anymore. You just got back. Like, let's continue to look down the road while we're taking care of business at hand, because unlike other Dolphins teams that we've seen in the past, Joel, this Dolphins team really can win without all of its A-plus pieces on the field, right? We need our main A-plus pieces, which is Tua and Tyreek Hill, but everybody else is an A-plus piece. If they're not on and we have those other two guys on the field, we have a very good shot of winning that football game, because we're a very deep team right now, and that's something that a lot of NFL teams can't really say, especially at this point in the season.
I got nothing else to add to that. I completely agree.
Great.
I completely agree. Last thing I do want to add, though, the Buffalo Bills, they had a bye week this week, but our other two opponents in our division lost. That Patriots game was just sad, man. I mean, those guys are just going through it. Bro. But so was the Jets game. The Jets game was pretty ugly, too. So, we get another game ahead. And then around the rest of the AFC, we're going to find out, tonight. I mean, we're recording this right before Sunday Night Football, so I'm kind of hoping the Chiefs lose.
The week, yeah, for sure, right? I'm going to get into that playoff picture right now, but it's funny that another week Martin misses, another week Chargers look like shit in Herbert.
Yeah.
And his offense only puts up 6 points.
What a coinky dink.
It's a miracle. It's a miracle. But
Justin Herbert.
Trash. Right now, the Dolphins, as it stands right now, okay, at the time of recording, Sunday night, 8:15 p.m., your Miami Dolphins are leading the AFC 9-3, number one seed right now. Yeah. But again, we're waiting on the result of the Chiefs game tonight. If they win, they're going to jump us, right? Because they got the head-to-head record on us. That would move us down to second place, because we have a tie-break win over Baltimore based on the best win percentage in conference games. I told you guys, man, winning those conference games against outside division opponents where it's going to be critical. And the Dolphins right now are 6-2 in conference games. We're one of those losses being to Baltimore and the other one being to Buffalo. So, Kansas City and Buffalo. Yeah, we got a lot to look forward to. We got another winnable game next week in Tennessee coming here.
Prime time.
We got to take care of business. We cannot overlook this team at all. We have to continue to keep pace for our individual race, which is home field advantage for our Miami Dolphins to get a victory in the playoffs, man. I really do think that's the key, because I would hate to go anywhere else and feel confident. I would rather much feel more confident playing a playoff game here at home.
Oh, yeah. And I don't know if you said this, but that game against Tennessee is at home. So you got to feel good about coming back home Monday night football action, man. You got to do it for the fans, dog. We got to show out against that sorry-ass Titans team.
We're going to smack those boys up, dog. We're going to be recording that Monday night, bringing you guys OnlyFans Tuesday. So make sure you guys are having the subscribed on. My dog's rocking the OnlyFans shirt. I got the black one. Like, you guys got to get with it. Let's get those orders in the mail. Email your boy, and you can get yours today. Maybe not today. It'll take about 2-3 days to ship. But hit your boy up, and we'll do our best to get it to you as soon as possible. Joel, man, I appreciate you jumping on here, fool.
Fins up, baby.
Fins up, baby. Fins up. Everybody else, thank you so much for joining us yet again. Make sure you guys are telling a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about OnlyFans. We're bringing you these post-game reactions every single Dolphins week. Till next time, peace.